Monster RX93.1 presents Heard on Thursdays. Hot conversations on hot topics. Your host, JC Tevez.
Hey, what's going on, monsters? Welcome to the show. Back with you for more hot conversations here on Heard on Thursdays, the iconic magazine show that made FM radio talk. And I'm glad to have been a part of it. And of course, of Manila's hottest monster, RX93.1. I'm glad for the trust that was given to me to host this great radio show. I'm glad for all the things that I've learned from it and have shared with you monsters. I've learned a lot on the show, from skincare to like taxes, everything in between. I'm glad for all the good times and the challenging times that we've shared. Thank you to all of you monsters out there. Thank you to all the guests for the past 21 months. Thank you to Monster RX93.1, and thank you to Heard on Thursdays. I'm especially glad to have been part of this program during a very difficult and transitional time. Once more, things are changing very fast. Make no mistake about it. The pandemic is ending. This event has upended our lives and compelled us to confront the choices we've made and call on us to make some new ones. That includes, humbly, yours truly. A few of you already know that my road with Monster RX93.1 is about to reach, if not an end, at least a turning. And this will be the final episode of Heard on Thursdays that I will be hosting, at least for now, because you never know where the road might lead you, right? So we thought of bringing back our go-to feel-good guest, Kimi Lu, the life coach for heart-centered leaders. Kimi was the guest on Rafi Reyes' last episode when, in all faith and love, he turned the show over to me. Kimi was also our guest earlier this year when I went back to the Monster Studio to do Heard on Thursdays live here from the Monster booth. Tonight is another landmark night for HOT, so we welcome back Kimi Lu for a conversation about transitions, moving on, and moving forward, especially in these fast-changing times. Very fitting. And of course, the phone line will be open once again. Feel free to call us up 8631-9393 when anytime throughout the program, as well as the comment section on Facebook, Twitch, and on YouTube, where we are currently live right now. So without further ado, Heard on Thursdays, life coach for heart-centered leaders, Kimi Lu joining us tonight. Kimi Lu, what's up?
Oh my goodness. Hello, JC. Has it been a long time? Was it January? When did you go back?
A long time. It feels like it's been a long time. Even if it's a month, it's like, oh wow. It feels like forever. Welcome back to the show, Kimi Lu. How are you? Where are you now? Are you in Batangas?
Thank you. I am in Lipa, Batangas right now. I haven't been back since March 2020. I mean, I go to Manila, but I live here now. And I'm just happy to be here. And while you were talking earlier, like you're doing your intro, I was like, oh my gosh, parang hindi ko sure kung matutuwa ba ako kasi when Rafi had to transition, I was there. When now you're transition, I am here. So, but I'm glad to hold space for whoever is transitioning.
Yeah, and that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. Very fitting, and I'm glad that my last show here on Heard on Thursdays is with you, because you've always been one of my favorite guests. So easy to talk to you. But let's catch up. So it's the last time that we talked. What is new with you? I mean, we're going to talk all about everything that, all your courses and everything that you're doing online as well. But, besides that, what's new with you? Have you watched anything new? What are you listening to right now? What are you watching? What's outside of your work?
I think I actually shared this one with you before, and now they have a new season, Selling Sunset. Selling Sunset, because it's just so interesting and trashy. Like, I don't need to really think so much. So I like their cat fights, and just a lot of insight about real estate. Yeah, that's what I'm watching now. I also just finished The Good Doctor.
Oh, I love that show.
Yeah, so the latest one, post-pandemic.
Yes.
Did you get to see it?
I did. I'm upset. Now, a little bit of spoiler, but I'm not going to say the name. I'm a little bit upset that they killed off somebody.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yes, from the last one.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Kimi Lu, I know that you've been working on something, the Sacred Space certification. Let's talk a little bit about that. Is that about? Why do you think it's important, and how How do you get it? How did you get it?
Yes, I will tell you all about. Actually, I just came from one of my final sessions with the third batch of Sacred Space certification program. And if they're watching right now, say hello in the comment section. That Sacred Space certification program, I gave birth to it last year. I know we had a session also with Monica last year, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had like back-to-back sessions, back-to-back trainings, workshops, seminars online. And I was working from 8 a.m. to 12 midnight,
Wow.
Monday to Sunday. And then at one point, I think around like June, I was like, I'm really tired. Like I don't think I can do this work alone. I
Yeah.
need other people who will hold space for others. So it's been in my mind already, but really the pandemic pushed me to do it. So I created the Sacred Space Certification Program. I teach my success blueprint, which is the mind, body, spirit framework. And now they have their own programs, they have their own clients as well. And Sacred Space isn't like you're gonna fix someone. Basically, it's really just allowing another person to be vulnerable, to not feel they are judged,
Mm.
so they can just be themselves, their authentic selves. So that's the Sacred Space certification. There are 41 certified Sacred Space holders right now,
Mhm.
and I am expecting 18 in January, and I have 6 slots left.
Wow, ever growing, huh? So how can I mean? You
Yes.
said you have 6 slots left. How can somebody, or what qualifications do you need to even participate? Do you need qualifications, or can anybody be a part of this? And if so, how can they fill up those last 6 slots?
Right. So the Sacred Space is very inclusive. It can actually be really like it can be anyone. If you have the intention and desire to be a better version of yourself, at the very least, then you're welcome. If you are a leader and you'd like to hold space for your team, your community, your tribe, then you're most welcome as well. And I even have this. So this is the good part. There is even a payment plan. Right now, it's a 9-month payment plan, just in case they wanted. And they can just send me a message on Instagram. It's that easy. Like, Kimmy, I heard you. I saw you on RX with JC. You were talking about sacred space. Can I know more about it? I'm going to send, I will personally reply to you.
Wonderful. Great. Okay. Well, so now
Mm.
you can just message Kimi Lu. Of course, you can see if you're watching our live stream, her Instagram page is already, her at is flashing right there. Kimi Lu, let's talk
Yay.
about heart-centered leaders. You bill
Yes.
yourself as a life coach for heart-centered leaders. What exactly is a heart-centered leader? What does that mean? I mean, I can venture a guess, but what is your
Yes.
personal definition of it? Who are they? And well, how do you become one, if ever?
Yes. So a heart-centered leader would mainly, obviously, like use the heart, the mind, body, spirit framework as well. So it's not just, bossing you around, like making sure you do things, kunyari, at work, but also knowing what your true desires are and helping your dreams come true, like as a leader. Like if you have an employee or a tribe member or a community member, you would want that heart-centered leader would like to know the deepest desires of that person, or maybe also emotionally speaking, like a heart-centered leader have very good communication skills, being able to communicate and listen actively as well. So a lot of factors for a heart-centered leaders, but mainly really putting heart into it, loving what they're doing, loving the people that they are serving, loving the people they work with, loving everything.
Yeah.
Rooted in love, basically.
Yeah. Oh, it makes sense. I mean, heart-centered and love it go hand in hand. So
Yes.
when you say these heart-centered leaders, who exactly do you say like they help people, right? They're
Yeah.
they're passionate about helping people. So the people that come to these heart-centered leaders, someone like yourself,
Yeah.
for example, what exactly are they asking help for, or what kind of what are their maybe their
Ah,
problems,
yes.
issues? What do they reach out to heart-centered leaders for usually?
Oh, is it the heart-centered leader or the people they're helping? I guess it's
The
the same.
Yeah, I mean the people that they're helping. Usually, why are they reaching
Yeah.
out for help? Usually, right? So yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Well, right now, the heart-centered leaders that I have been training really have different communities. So
Okay.
maybe I'll just answer it this way. What do the heart-centered leaders need, or what space do they need for themselves? Because I help the leaders, right?
Yeah.
Basically, these leaders are the ones who feel kind of depleted. They feel like they keep giving and then they end up with nothing, right?
Mm,
Or they get really tired, they get burnt out as well because they weren't able to fill up their cups first. And that is also the sacred space. That's why I invite all of the leaders, trailblazers, change makers, um, thought leaders as well to come because they need the space to hold themselves, like self care, self actualization, all of these self things, self love. They get they receive that in the container of sacred space so they may be able to overflow and to give with abundance generously to others.
Would you say? I mean, I like how you mentioned that some people feel depleted or maybe
Yeah.
unable to fill up their cup. I like that analogy. Would you
Mm,
say during this pandemic? I think it's safe to say that this is something that has become more common,
yeah.
because well, the world kind of went upside down in a sense. So when it comes to readjusting, because I'm very hopeful that the pandemic will come to a close, in the foresee now, hopefully the near future, right? Hopefully. But
Yeah.
do you think that people will be able to readjust, for example, to the fast paced lifestyle that we were accustomed to before the pandemic? How do you think people will adjust post pandemic?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna start talking about right now because of that question, like about transitions,
Yes, let's
if that's
do it.
okay, right?
Absolutely.
So we're all transitioning, basically. And the thing is, when you're transitioning, you leave something behind.
Hmm.
'Di ba? Parang you're shedding off. Parang yung snake or caterpillar, 'di ba? You shed off skin and you leave it behind. You don't take it with you, right? And with that analogy also, like there's also grief. Like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to leave that behind, right? So I feel we are in a worldwide um like
Transition.
grief transition really of
Yeah.
leaving our old lives, and some people don't even realize na, oh my gosh, this is grief pala. Like, hindi naman ako namatayan, but
Right.
why am I feeling this way? Oh, because my old life isn't present anymore. I'm transitioning into something else, something more, something different.
Mhm.
So that's how I see it. And yeah, I think it can't be like a week or a month or a year. I think it's going to be years.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so
how
too.
we move on.
Hmm.
Yeah. And the thing is also, we're all not on the same page. Like the first world countries are somewhat okay now. They just have masks every now and then. Whereas with us, we just got out of our shields
Yeah.
and we're still at like I am still at home. I barely go out. So it will take a while for me personally to actually transition as well.
Yeah.
So different pace for everyone.
Yeah, I really like that analogy, like you said, of people kind of shedding their, their past, shedding their skin, but also feeling that
Mm,
sadness because it is,
yeah,
in a way, you're leaving behind your old life, but the old life is something that kind of made you, it's like your original skin, so it's who you were before. and now you're moving on to something else. And it's very fitting because, as I mentioned in the intro of this is my last Heard on Thursday show. It's gonna be my last week here on the Monster. So I would like to use myself as an example for anyone right now who's listening who might be looking into maybe going into some transition phase or thinking about transitioning. So, Kimi Lu, what advice would you give to someone like me, for example? Well, what advice would you give to me when it comes to
Yes.
transitioning? What are the tips
Yeah.
that you would give to someone who's
Yes. Let's make this a little session for you,
do
JC.
it? Yeah.
Okay, so I would actually write it down somewhere.
Okay.
Like I would actually like ask you to write down a letter for your old self.
Huh.
I mean that it's a little dramatic, but it actually really works. You know why? When you write things down, it becomes concrete and it becomes so real that you can actually, touch it and feel
Tangible.
it and see it. It's tangible, right? And when that happens, there's a click in your brain and it sends a signal to it and it'll tell you, okay, I get it. We're transitioning. It's time
Right.
already. So your entire body also reacts to that, and you'll see changes. It might even manifest in your body, maybe your posture or maybe your skin will start glowing. When people are, diba, when they're in love or they got a promotion or whatever, they
Yeah.
glow and they look like they're blooming. It's
Mhm.
because of that, as that thought in their
Right.
mind. So I would ask you to actually write a letter to your old self and say, you know what, we're done
Hmm.
and we're moving on, and this is now where I'm going. So
Yes.
now this is my next question. Where are you going?
You know
GC.
what?
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I'm gonna take a long break first. I
Okay.
think, I think maybe I really relate to that aspect that you mentioned earlier about maybe being depleted or your cup not being.
Mm,
I kind of want to take that time to, I don't know, fill up my cup again. If that, I don't know if that's the
nice.
correct analogy to make,
Yeah.
but that's the immediate plan. But in the future, I want to, pursue my other passions in life, which is content creation and of course hosting and whatnot.
Right.
Uh, but I'm still, maybe I don't really have a concrete timeline, and maybe is that something that I should
Mm,
focus on? Should I create
right.
a more focus? I mean, just like writing a letter to myself, should I make a schedule for myself already?
Right. That's a very good question because I actually ask this question to my clients, and I'll ask them, so how long are you going to be sad, or how long are you going to be in this phase?
Mm.
And it makes you think like, oh nga no, wait a minute, parang do I need a month or do I need a whole year? And then you start deciding. I think the best word would be to decide. Until when are you going to try to fill up your cup? And
Okay.
then what are the ways are you going to fill up your cup? Some people actually like being like in that what do you call that phase? Like just in between,
Yeah,
right? And
transitionary.
they transition, yeah, phase, and they like it. They like being there, like not being sure. But some people are really like getting anxious and like, oh my gosh, I need some certainty in my life, so they'll do something right away. I don't know with you. What do you think? Like, will you give yourself a timeline?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to timeline, maybe I should think more about, maybe a concrete time frame about, for example, taking a rest. I don't really have that. But when you said, some people do enjoy the transitionary
Yeah.
period, staying in the transitionary period. I'd like to think maybe in my younger days I enjoyed the transition because it was always spontaneous and whatnot. But the older that I've gotten, I feel like
Yeah.
I am scared to do more. I think I'm doing more.
Right.
So maybe I can't maybe give you an exact time yet, but I do know that I don't want it to be more than a year where I'm figuring things out. Maybe
For
just a few
sure.
months, and then just get back
Yeah.
on the grind, get out of this transitionary phase to move on to the next step in my life.
I mean, I would highly suggest the new year. I love new year.
Okay.
I love making, plans and goals and stuff. At least you have entire December to just chill, right? Like an
Yeah,
entire month.
I agree.
So that would be great. Now that you told me also about like, filling up your cup, do you have any like idea or like plan on how you're actually going to fill up your cup? I'm
Um,
serious.
I mean, besides just like, you know, rest, sleep, and whatnot, probably just looking towards the future. Kind of in a way planning. Oh, I never even thought about it that way. That's a question that's never really been
Mm,
asked posed to me. But
mm,
I guess I've always had these plans that I would always just think about, always just conceptualize. But maybe putting pen to paper, or at least maybe in this case, footage to camera or camera to laptop for editing is a good way to start doing that. I think it might be.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would
I
think so. Yeah. So letter to self, to your old self.
yes.
And then I'm just writing it down so I'll remember. And then deciding like on a like
Time frame.
deadline, time
Yeah.
frame. Yeah, I think time frame would be a better word.
Mhm.
And then like action plans
Action
on
plans.
how to fill up that cup,
Yeah.
to fill up the cup.
Nice.
And then maybe when you are filled, then you can actually really step into that version of you. th- I don't know what version that is yet. Do you have
Right.
any imaginations about that? Like, what's that version of you that you want? Or is it there already, or is it
It's
not there yet?
it's in my like my wildest like visions, like my
Yeah.
daydream. Yeah, yeah. I really foresee like traveling around. For example, my immediate after COVID, obviously, is to travel the entire Philippines. Like that's always something that I've wanted to
Ooh,
do. Always wanted
right.
to go north to south. I can imagine doing it, but I can't. I haven't really. I can't imagine I don't know what I want to do, like what I want to film if ever I'm going to film there, or what I want to put out. But I
Right.
do want to bring something that brings value to other people as well. So that's kind of what
Mm,
I'm in right now. But
that's
it's not.
nice.
It's like a dream that I can't put to paper yet, but I kind of see it. You know what I mean? it's it's
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
halfway visible.
You know what? Also, like, I don't know, like, if you just see it, you can draw it also.
Okay, it's a good tip.
Um, yes. And the thing is, when you draw, it can even be, are you a drawer? Like, are you
I
really an
am not.
artist?
I am not
Okay,
an
that's
artist.
fine. That's fine because I'm not as well. But I like drawing doodles and symbols. Like I
Okay.
draw hearts and stars
Yeah.
and like money signs. Like I can
Right.
draw that.
I love money signs.
And yeah, and one of my coaches told me like just draw it on paper because literally when you draw it, you draw it into your life.
Makes
So like
sense.
just a play of words there na parang
Right.
drawing it in. So if you
Drawing
can
it.
also do that, you can absolutely do that as well. If you love, I mean, obviously you love speaking, you're very auditory as well, you can record yourself. And I have been doing this for the past 3 months, and it's been magical. I record myself saying my gratitude list, and also I go to a time and space in the future that I'm grateful for as if it had happened already.
Mm.
So I actually want to do that with you now.
Okay,
Can
let's
we
do
do
it.
that? Okay.
Yeah, sure. And to all the monsters listening right now, I'm getting a live session with Kimi Lu. But I think it's
Yes.
kind of make it relatable to anyone listening out there who's maybe thinking or feeling like they're going through a transition phase and moving on
Mm,
to something else. So we've already heard great tips from her. Writing a letter to yourself, giving
mhm,
yourself time frame, even drawing things to draw things to you. So what are we doing now? What
mm.
is
Okay. So when you are in like when you are transitioning, your vibe is quite low, right?
Mhm.
So because you don't know where you're going, basically, like
Yes.
you're kind of
Actually.
lost. Like, where am I
Mm.
going? But I know this is something that I need to do, but I don't know exactly what to do yet, even. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like a low vibe in terms of energy. I don't know if you are you
No, I
understanding this?
completely agree. Actually, that it's one
Mm.
of the, and I think something relatable to people who are going through the same thing that I am.
Yeah,
Knowing that there's a time, knowing that it's time for a transition, but even not really knowing exactly why is such a weird feeling. It's like
yeah,
but you can't either. Maybe you can't verbalize
yeah.
it, or you can't really say why, but and I think a lot
Right.
of people feel that way. So first of all, Kimi Lu, why is that? Why is it that some people can be maybe so sure of what they're feeling, but not know how to say it if they're so like if they
Yes.
feel it in their body already?
You know what? I actually love this moment
Mm.
of being unsure, like being confused,
Yeah,
because I mean, I'm going to tell everyone who's feeling this way, you're at the brink of discovering where you're supposed to be or to go. Because you're there na eh. So
yeah,
it's a matter of being scared about it or being excited about it. So
yeah,
there are two choices. So I hope you choose the one that excites you and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel this like in waves. And
yeah.
even if I'm a life coach, obviously I still get lost. But
Hmm.
whenever I feel this way, I just tell myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to give birth to something.
Right.
I don't know what it is yet, but I feel it in my body. Um, I have no idea what I'm going to give birth to, but I feel it like it's there. So
Mm.
I reframe my self talk, how I perceive it, basically. So
Mm.
I mean, imagine if you just change your perception of this transition into, you know what? Yes, I'm actually on my way to where I'm supposed to be.
I like.
Ah,
Because I think
right?
people can be confused between fear and excitement. Uh,
Mm.
Sometimes maybe, I mean, first of all, can they coexist? Can they coexist, or should you really just once you feel fear, should you try to change that into excitement, or can they
Oh,
coexist?
they can, yeah, I think they can absolutely coexist. And because also they actually feel super the same in your body. So
Mm.
there
Yeah,
could
they
be
do.
fear and yet you are excited,
Yeah, I think so.
right?
I think that's what it is. I feel that
Yeah.
completely. Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, I hope
Okay.
you
So what?
feel better feeling that way.
Yeah. So when you said this is the brink, right? This is the point
Yeah.
where I guess kind of like you take this leap of faith. What kind
Yes.
of tips do you have for getting us over that edge? You besides what we've already talked about, you said you love
Yeah.
this part. So why do you love this part so much?
Yeah, because you're going to get there already. Like you're going to decide.
Right.
It's as if you are in rock bottom. Like, oh my gosh, like this is the worst feeling. I'm lost. And even the word that I use is despair. I'm in despair. Like where saan ako pupulutin?
Yeah.
'Di ba? Oh, wait a minute. From here, from this part, I'm going to take a leap of faith. I'm going to jump. I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to do that step, that action. And then you'll discover what's in it for you.
Mm-hmm. Got
Like
it.
you don't want to stay there in that lowest point.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, as I was saying, because it's low vibe, we need to raise the vibe, right? So that you get to attract miracles and magic in your life. And I believe that gratitude does that to
Mm-hmm.
us. So there are several ways that we can do it, but I want to share with you something that I just recently learned this year. So
Right.
it's three levels of gratitude. So, first level, just mention things that you're grateful for randomly.
Okay.
Maybe
Just like
five things,
just speak it
just
out.
whatever.
Just say it.
Yeah, just speak
Okay.
it out. Yeah. What are you
Oh,
grateful for?
oh, you want me to
Some
do that?
random
Okay,
things.
okay,
Yes.
okay. Well, I'm grateful that I have. I think I'm financially stable. I'm, I'm glad. I'm
Yes.
grateful that.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that my family's still healthy. Like I'm.
Mm,
Even though I haven't seen them in a long time, I'm grateful that the pandemic hasn't really targeted my family
yeah.
specifically. Um, well, I'm trying to think. See, yeah, you know what, Kim? That's a hard question.
What
I
is
think
like random things?
I know, I know. I mean, I'm grateful that I have a place, a roof under my head that
Yes.
I don't have to worry about losing where I'm gonna stay.
Awesome.
I'm grateful for well, obviously, I'm grateful for all the friends, and I guess I mean they're now my family that I've made here on the Monster. And
Mm,
I'm grateful that there are people who are very supportive of me, and I'm grateful that I made an impact. I like to think I made an impact here,
yeah, you
because
sure did.
for example, yesterday I posted
Seems
on
so.
my Instagram and I said that this is going to be my last week, and I got, I think, literally like hundreds of messages from people who I haven't heard from in maybe a long time, but
Yes.
messages like, I used to listen to you at 2 a.m., or I
Mm,
or I've always listened to you on the way home. I'm gonna be so sad and I was really grateful for that. Like, I was really grateful that I
awesome.
I I did my thing. I made an impact. That's always what I wanted to do here. Make an
Yeah,
impact.
and we're receiving comments like all the best, I will really miss you, all of these messages even now. So,
Yeah.
yes, okay. So that's like random things, but I think they're
Yeah.
huge things. They're amazing things. So I want you to just take a deep breath in and just allow that to fill up your heart and raise your vibe as well.
Okay.
Next level would be I want you to be very present today. Like
Okay.
what are you grateful for today? Like from the moment you woke up until this moment.
Um, just grateful that I have I have, I guess, drive to do stuff, for the
Mm,
future. I think that's a good one,
right. Mhm.
Yeah, because I have a lot of, racket the next few weeks, but I think, just I want to, to keep working at it.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah.
Anything else for today?
For
Like,
today, I
did you bump
mean,
into someone? Did you
no.
see the sky?
Oh, I mean,
You know,
I'm happy that I got to eat some good food today. I mean,
yum.
well, actually, it's not. I don't know if it's good food. It's convenience store food, but it was cheap. So I like
Fried
it.
chicken ba yan?
Shop out hot dog.
Siya pa.
I'm happy that I can get a meal for an affordable price. Thankful for that.
Yes.
So I don't think I'm gonna go hungry for the foreseeable future. That's really what I think about sometimes when I'm like, oh man, I earned some money today,
Yeah.
so I can eat for this amount of time. Yeah, that's how I do it, Kimi Lu. I
Right.
think, and when I get on a racket, I'm like, oh, this can feed me for X amount of weeks or months.
Nice. Awesome. I love that. I love that. Foreseeing the
Yeah,
future also,
right.
right? Awesome. Anything else for today?
I mean, I'm happy that I got to come in here and talk to you. I'm happy that I
Awesome.
got to learn these
Okay.
things from you.
I am grateful. I'm grateful. Okay, so that is level 2. So first
Okay.
it was just really random things.
Random.
And
All right.
then second level would be today. What are you grateful for
More
today?
specific.
I
Okay.
usually do this also in the morning, and I say it as if things had happened already during my day.
So it's kind of like you're prefacing your day, like, oh, this is something that
Yes.
it's going to happen today. And you say it. Okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
to all our listeners, or maybe following along, they can do these exercises too, right? Even if they're not in the same situation as me.
Yeah.
Something as simple as verbalizing, what you're grateful for, and also, well, now the more specific is, what you're grateful for today. And so, a tip you would give once again to everyone out there is to try to do it every day in the morning, huh?
Yep. Or at night, like right now, end of the
Mhm.
day.
Mhm.
So now we move on to the third level of
Okay.
gratitude, which is going to a time and space um, that you're grateful for. So this is perfect because you're in a transition.
Yeah.
And in what time and space do you want to get to and be grateful for?
Is this future facing, Kimilu? Are we talking about
Oh,
what
very future. Like
very future? Okay, sorry. It's not. I'm not thinking about yeah, time in the past. I'm thinking about the future
the
in this
future.
case.
This is the future.
Future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could be
So
next month, next year.
what's the prompt again? What am I grateful for in the future?
Yes. So I need you to go to a time and space in the
Okay.
future. Like
Mm.
just put yourself
Just
in that
right.
situation and then look
Yeah.
around and say, "Ooh, I'm grateful in this time and space that this
Uh-huh.
is happening or I
Yeah.
have this." Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I imagine this all the time. Actually, I imagine. Yeah,
Mm.
I don't. It's weird. I don't like flying on airplanes, but I like being in the airport. Like I feel cool, like
Ah,
when I'm in the
yes.
airport. You know what I mean? I feel like
Yes.
airport is because you see people going places, and it just feels like this is. It's exciting to be in the airport. Getting on the plane's another story. I don't like flying in general, but I always
Mm.
like the feel of the airport, and I can kind of imagine myself. If my plans, no, when my plans come into fruition, uh, I'd love to be at more airports that I've never been to. But I
Ooh,
think I would be thankful that I would be at these airports for the first time, and
right.
maybe seeing more of those on the line.
Yeah. So let's be a little bit more specific. Maybe
More
you're
specific.
in one airport. Maybe you
Okay.
see yourself in one airport, you're there, and look around you. What are you grateful for in that time and space, in that moment?
Yeah. Well, I've always been a fan of solo traveling, so I don't think I would see anyone that I know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I would see my suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
I this probably in I probably because I the most familiar airport or to me right now is Naiya, right? So I'd probably be
Mm-hmm.
in I don't know which terminal. Okay, let's be specific. Like terminal, we're all the domestic, but terminal three,
Okay,
wherever.
yeah.
Terminal 3, I know what it looks like in my mind. I've been there, a lot of times. I have my suitcase and I guess my camera with me, my
Yeah,
camera,
okay, nice.
and
Is it heavy? Do you feel it?
it, it's not that heavy. I like to pack light. For people who know me, I like to pack light, so I pack light. Probably my plans, like my itinerary, it will be there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. Like I don't like to have solid. I don't like to have tour. I don't like going on tours. I just like to
Mm-hmm.
kind of go to places. So maybe not an itinerary, but showing all the places that I want to visit, and I'll just figure
Right.
out how to get there along the way. And yeah, I think I mean do I need to how much more specific?
I mean, how do you feel like in your body? Like,
Oh,
what are
I
you grateful
feel
for?
oh, I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to go to these places that I've always wanted to see. The places that that I've just seen on TV or on Google
Mm,
Images or on those travel shows.
yes.
I don't know any particular travel show which one, but I've seen these places, and it's I think I'm grateful that it's becoming a reality that in a few moments I'll be stepping on this
Yeah.
plane heading to this place. So
Okay,
yeah, I'm thankful.
perfect.
Yeah,
Awesome. Take a deep breath in. Take that all in and then
yeah.
slowly exhale. Awesome. And I usually do this. I record myself doing this.
Mhm. Okay.
And really, there is no time and space because now you imagined yourself to be in that airport with your maleta, with your camera, with your plans for
Yeah.
travel. It's as if it is already happening right now. Because I mean, I'm sure you felt that. I saw the smile
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
face. You're like,
We're in.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know? So it's happening.
Yeah.
Even if it's not happening, but because you have thought of it and felt it, then it
Yeah.
is happening. So right
That
now,
is
like, oh
great
my gosh, like
exercise.
your vibe.
Yeah. I mean that's level 3. I mean
That's level
we
three.
yes, the gratitude, and I never have I wouldn't say never, but I never really thought about it in that way. Where
Mm,
because I like to think of myself as a dreamer, a daydreamer, but I don't really speak it out to myself. And I think that's a great
mm,
exercise to do. um, yeah, moving forward. So to anyone listening right now, maybe your dream isn't the same as mine, but that's a great, that's a great tool to use, a great
Yes.
strategy, a great to get to that next level of excitement. Wow,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
great.
I hope you enjoyed that.
I
That's
did,
your
I did.
baon for tonight,
It
for
is, it is.
your final episode and
Yeah,
final session with me.
true. Yeah, and of course to
Yeah.
all the monsters out there, just you've already witnessed or heard if you're just listening on air, a kind of a live,
Yeah,
session,
live coaching
live
session. Yeah.
coaching session, right? So of course,
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy, to everyone out there that to have a more one on personalized session with you. Once again, how can they reach out to you, and who would you want to reach out to you? Because some
Oh,
people might not
yes.
need a coach right now, but who in particular? Who are the people that you want to reach out to you?
I super love that prompt. So on point. Yes, so I am currently accepting
Mhm.
heart-centered leaders. Who are these people? If you are like a business owner, if you are a leader of a community, or leader even just at home, maybe also you are a freelancer who want to grow and scale
Mhm.
their practice, um, thought leader, trailblazer, all of these kinds of leaders, I would like to invite you to follow me on Instagram, Kimi Lu Life Coach, and then take the Sacred Space Certification Program, because that will be your foundations for life. Basically, to have a holistic life, mind, body, spirit, to be able to hold space for yourself first so that you can hold space for others. So yeah, I would love to have you in the program. And then after that, you can create your own, whatever
Mhm.
you want. My students are doing podcasts. They have their own programs. They have a journal. They have a planner. That someone's coming up with a book as
Wow.
well. So many possibilities for anyone who would like to get into this journey. And then I have a one-on-one mentorship and coaching session, which is
Mhm.
called Quantum Leap.
Quantum leap.
So
Okay. About
yes, so this transition stuff. All of my clients go through it, and I literally have seen one of my clients shaking. Like when we would discuss the stuff, she would be like, "Huh? You're asking me to do that? Really?" And I'm like, "Yeah, isn't that what you wanted? Yeah,
that.
but I'm scared. But you want it, right? So go do it."
Right.
So it's so exciting. I love the unfolding that I witness. I have the front row seat to miracles and magic unfolding.
Yeah, and I think that's something that we could all use in our lives right now. So to all our monsters, reach out to Kimi Lu. Anything else, Kimi Lu, that in the future? Do you have things that are planned? And of course, I know you're also do you still do your other your live videos and whatnot. Where can they catch you
Yes.
regularly? Can you tell us about that as well?
Sure. Well, everything is on Instagram. That is like my number one platform right now. I have Tuesdays with Kimmy, IG Live. I have guests, global guests, and also my students usually. And then this December 29, I have a year and like some kind of retreat session from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. for anyone who wants to do like a review of the entire year and be prepared for the following year. So save the date for that. I'm going to be posting stuff on December 1 about it. I also have a membership program for the entire 2022. Right now, we have 250 plus members. So if
Wow.
they want to get into that program, it's 365 days of inspiration. We have 12 playlists, so monthly playlists. We also have weekly journal prompts. We have recorded videos from meditations, breath work, fitness and holistic wellness, live sessions monthly as well. And last October 10/10, it was only 1,888.
Mm-hmm.
Last November, it was 2,888. And we're
Mm-hmm.
going to come up with a special Christmas bundle this December. I'm not going to reveal how much yet, but watch out for it.
Yeah, stay up to date. Once again, follow Kimi Lu Life Coach on Instagram. It's KIMILU Life Coach. Kimi Lu, thank you so much for making me excited. And because I was already excited as it was, but to kind of just everything that we just talked about today has
Mm.
made me confident in the future. And thank you so much for being a guest here on Heard on Thursdays. I'm sure you'll be back here on HOT with a different host. But thank you, and anyone you want to shout out before we formally say farewell.
Yes. Yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of the sacred space holders for doing this work with me, and all to all the future soon to be sacred space holders as well. So thank you so much. I think we are much needed in this world. And JC, thank you also. And I wish you all the best. I'm also
Thank you.
already so excited for all of your trips from
Yeah.
north to south, for everything that you are going to capture. And I have like a tagline for you already.
Okay.
I know you will be capturing heartbeats.
Heartbeats. I like that. Capturing
Yeah.
heartbeats. I'm gonna have to pay you for that copyright issue. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
I need royalties for that.
Kimilu, thank you so much. And of course, since this is my last show, I just want to give my own little personal shout outs to all the Monster listeners who tune in every Thursday here. Because there, besides the pop music that we play, there, there really is something to learn when you listen to radio. And I believe HOT, Heard on Thursdays, is and will continue to be a great platform for voices to be heard, and happens here on Thursday. And of course, thank you to Rafi Reyes. Thank you to Paeng. He's actually, I'm going to bring him in. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just
Yes.
going to bring him to the stream here because he is the host of HOT. He's the originator. So Paeng, I call him Paeng, heartfelt name for him, Paeng. But Rafi to
Hi,
everyone. Thank
this
you
is
so much.
unexpected. Bon
This was not
voyage.
planned. It was
All
not
the
planned.
best. Look,
Yeah.
look at what I'm wearing. It's baso at bote. It doesn't represent me. Too
But
accurate.
I just want to give a shout out to Paeng, to Rafi for being a mentor, but more importantly, a friend. And thank you so much for everything. Thank you for the trust that you put in me to host the show. And I hope I didn't let you down. I hope I did well. I
You
hope I
did.
did
You
good.
did.
Thank you. And of course, thank you to the Monster for also trusting me to host the show. And I had a great time doing it for the past 21, 22 months. And I look forward to the future of it. I don't know who's gonna host it next, but I know they're gonna do a great job as well. And it's something that I think will always remain here on the Monster. So, Paeng, thank you so much.
Thank you,
You know,
JC.
thank you. I
Thank you
love you.
for thank you especially for shepherding the show through a very difficult time,
Yeah.
and you did wonderfully. So I'm so proud of you, and I wish you the best.
Thank
Those flights, I hope I'm with you in some of those flights.
Yeah,
We
for
shall
sure.
travel.
We
We
are
shall
going.
see the world. The
Kimi Lu's
Me
airports
coming.
too.
will
I'm
be.
like, me too.
Kimi
You
Lu's
too,
coming
you
too.
too. We shall
So
travel. That's me too. The airports. When I'm in an
Yeah.
airport, it's all about dreams. It's all about possibilities. So
indeed.
Oh my
So
it's
gosh,
wonderful.
yes.
all the monsters, use this as your motivation to live out your dream, and move on to the next phase of your life, transition to the next one. Thank you once again to Heard on Thursdays. Join us again next week for more hot conversations here on Heard on Thursdays, for the last time, at least for now. My name is JC Tevez. Have a wonderful evening, and always keep it locked here on the Monster. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.
Good night, everyone.